Now, do you guys notice one thing that's missing? What's missing? Besides a really crazy morph.
What?
From this.
Blood?
Yeah. I can get in the eggs without bleeding or anything. And there's a tad bit. I do get a little horrified about the slicing things. I usually don't like to be part of that. Just I like to have a little more etiquette to what I'm doing, because I did this a long time ago. And I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm like the originator of getting into eggs.
Frickin'. I'm getting murdered.
If you want to get murdered on a live tour.
Quiet on the set.
It's really hard to film with you guys doing this.
Not gonna cooperate at all. Come here. Come here. Here we go. Okay, let's do this.
This is what it's like filming commercials.
With animals, yeah. We just wanted to make a quick little announcement that we're putting a hold on our public tours because of COVID, social distancing, and trying to keep everybody as safe as possible. But if you're interested in coming and checking out some of the amazing animals that we've got here, you can give us a call and schedule a private tour where you can get some hands-on time with cool animals like this. You can see Lilith, Crowley, and some of the other amazing animals that we work with here at New England Reptile.
What the hell, man? That's really good. That was the Jurassic Park theme song.
Yeah,
that was really good. Apparently already.
Did you do this?
Guys, like
dude. Well, right now I've been cutting out all the goose shots because I think they're disgusting. But should we leave the goose shots in the shot? Also, should we use this blade or that blade? What do you guys think?
This blade. I like these blades better.
Okay.
Hey everybody, I realize that we have a whole bunch of new Twitch followers, and I want to really let you know, if you're new to the platform, we greatly appreciate you actually taking the chance and just seeing what it's all about. Donny's worked very hard on this platform. This was Donny, who was twitch.tv, where we were going to go try something. So it was very, very lonely when we were first doing it. And just recently we got the partnership, which means that Twitch has realized, okay, snakes are not just for literal freaks, and there might be more than 2 or 3 people that actually like them. Yeah. But we are definitely literal freaks.
Yeah. It just stopped. He's like, oh, that's horrible.
What do you mean? It's a ball python. It's happy.
Well, they brought me on to, I mean, it's nice. There's a drawing on it. Alright, I'm going to teach everybody.
Okay.
This is the way.
Secret.
What are you doing?
Screw you.
Where's the chainsaw?
Okay. So I learned a long time ago how to get into ball python eggs without destroying the integrity of the egg. And there's a couple different ways. I wanted to watch when a pattern was being developed. So I was getting into eggs, and then I'd have to reseal the egg. And some of the problems is, so this egg is pristine as it is now. You're not allowing environmental bacteria to get through an opening, because this basically is the filter. So this egg is porous, and it's allowing gas exchange. It's also allowing moisture. But basically what it is, it's a pretty durable membrane that is then small little pores all over it that are basically calcified. And this basically allows the animal to pull in oxygen and allows it to degas things like CO2. But the inside of the egg is all laid with blood vessels. So I'm getting distracted by the vacuum and the phone. Attention deficit disorder really awesome.
You almost couldn't tell until you brought it up.
Okay, well I was like, I'm going down the rabbit hole. So what I would do is I take this in a dark room if I really wanted to get in this egg, and then let's say it was earlier in its development. So what I would do, I'd go into a dark room, take a flashlight, and then I'd look where the blood vessels are. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark, and I'm going to mark where the areas that's the freest of blood vessels that I could get in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the egg, peek, do whatever I'm doing, and then what I would do is I come back, take a little bit of polysporin and create a ring. Then take a little piece of wax paper or saran wrap. But wax paper is a little more easy to deal with, and you put it over there, and it seals that little hole up. Because we don't want to do is we don't want to get things like these little egg mites. We don't want to get any kind of fruit flies, carrion humpback flies, house flies, any of that stuff. We also don't want, sometimes depending on what your bedding is, sometimes you can have different organisms, very, very small, that are just going to eat organics, but they will also take advantage of a situation like this. But this egg is, we're probably day 56 or so. So what I'm going to do, take my thumb, and I basically create like a dent. And I take my forceps. Can you see this, Donny?
Oh yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this motion. And I'm going to do a fulcrum lever off the edge of my thumb. So I'm going to go like this. So at that point, so I got albumin. There's this animal hasn't tried to hatch. So if this animal is actively trying to hatch, often when I open this egg up, you're immediately going to see blood. And that's telling you that the little guy's in there trying to get out. So what I noticed, if I make a little slit like this.
Why is the blood caused? Is it the egg tooth cutting?
So what is the egg tooth? The animal's actually going around because it's no longer able to get enough oxygen. It's starting to struggle to get enough oxygen. So I think that initiates these animals to actually start trying to cut. So right here, we didn't see any blood in the albumin. This is very indicative of monitors when they're trying to hatch. You'll often open up an egg and you can tell that monitor's been trying to get out. Sometimes they're dead because they weren't able to get out. So at this point, I really haven't damaged any blood vessels. But like I said, if I really wanted to know where the blood vessels are, I'm going to go into a dark room with a real powered flashlight and I'm going to mark where I'm going to try to do my penetration. So one little trick you can do here is if I grab, I do this little, because this membrane is actually, there's an internal membrane and then there's an external, like the outside. And what I'm going to start doing is, I like to get rid of a little bit more albumin, so I open the egg, drain that, kind of cut it with my fingers, and what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start peeling. So generally razor blades and all that stuff are not my thing. And sometimes you can sit here and I can peel the egg away from the internal membrane. So I can just sit here and do this. So let's say I was really dying to see what was in my egg. I was being nosy, because we're doing this because we're so excited. For a breeder, it can take years and years and years to finally get that egg in your hand, and you're like, I can't wait another day. And so when we actually go into these eggs, we can increase these forceps stink. I can't even grab. Yeah, they're always bent. We're increasing the survivorship. Okay, what I was trying to do is, Donnie, you see right here?
Yep.
So
I see there's 2 layers of that egg.
There's actually, it's technically probably, it's more, but what we're seeing. So that's just the outside. But then if we look, so you see this area right here? Mm-hmm. Okay, that is the thin internal area that now has all the blood vessels on it. Okay, so at this point, when an animal is pretty close to hatching, they've absorbed most of their yolk into their stomach. And so we can just gently kind of open that up. So I can tell you right now, I see, like, at the very least, I see a pastel. Oh, Lord. Pastel. A long time ago, I was really excited about that. I've gotten a little tainted, folks.
A little tainted, huh?
Yeah. Everybody knows Pastel Jungle. All these names are my names.
Yeah. This is
okay. So this is the Pastel Jungle. And what happens now is I've drained the albumin, I've created an area, so if I leave the egg back in its egg bin and I put it back to incubate, this animal can comfortably go and start finding a nice place where it can immediately breathe. It doesn't have to cut out of the egg. Here's another thing. So the snake is now encased, and it's another sac. The snake itself, so you can, there's a sac right there.
Yep.
See right there? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I can do, if I want this snake to start breathing, there's no blood vessels on there, but some of them will have blood vessels. So what I'm going to start doing is, I'm just going to go in there, and just like a doctor does, they pierce it and spread. Right there. This is very much something you do when you're a surgeon. You go into your wound and you're opening it up. And so now you can see I have this little guy. Okay, so now we're in here. So I've now pierced that. So we see a little head. So now, do you guys notice one thing that's missing? What's missing?
I haven't seen
Besides a really crazy morph. What else is missing from this?
Blood?
Yeah. So wait, so you can actually cut these eggs without fucking.
I can get in the eggs without bleeding or anything, and there's a tad bit, but you know, at this point it really doesn't matter. I do get a little horrified about the slicing things. I usually don't like to be part of that. Not saying that it actually is harmful for the animal. It's just I like to have a little more etiquette to what I'm doing, because I did this a long time ago, and I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm like the originator of getting into eggs. So once again, fulcrum, lever. I would like a little better set of forceps. So right there we got a little hole. And so there's a blood vessel right there, okay? I'm still not worried. But like I said, I could entirely miss that blood vessel if I did, you know, the little light trick. And
you actually keep us from getting demonetized when you do it this way, by the way. Did you know we get we get a flag every time there's a gooey, bloody egg? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
It's fun, yeah.
I'm not a gooey, bloody
I'm glad.
kind of guy. Okay, so, all right, so here I see some of the calico. There's some blood vessels right here. Let's get rid of some of this. So if people are incubating eggs, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something. This is really key. When I'm incubating eggs, my ball python or my Burmese python or whatever snake eggs look like this, and let's say they're day 20 or day 30, beautiful. This is beautiful. A little bit of dimpling in. It's easier to save an egg that's a little too dry than an egg that is too wet, because humidity will, I've seen eggs where they're completely as big as they can be and the embryo dies in there, but I think they have a problem degassing. There's not a place for gaseous exchange. I can't tell you, this is anecdotal information, but it doesn't ever seem to work out very well. They often get like bacterial infections like aeruginosa. They can get fungal, they can get mold, and a lot of times you get this mortality. So if you see an egg looking like this, a little bit of dimpling, I'll tell you another trick. Here's a good trick. You want to know, is it time for my ball python eggs to hatch? All you have to do is just do this. Ready? Go look at your egg, touch. If you can feel the spine of the animal, so it's back right there, and you can feel that in the egg, you're pretty much in that window where you can be nosy. That's like a really quick little definitive thing. Just, you can feel, not like where you're struggling to feel it, where you're like, oh yeah, I feel snake, then it's safe. So a lot of times the calico will, it's still, I know you guys are like, how can he tell? Well, it's like I'm seeing, you get this little bit of orange glow along the black edge.
Yeah, I see that.
Right there, so if I go, I'm sorry. But right along that black edge, you get that little orange glow, and as we go down towards the ventral area, you start getting some white. So see these big, thick blood vessels? What's gonna happen, that snake, once it starts breathing, is gonna start pulling in all the yolk into its stomach, because obviously that's the nutrient and that's the fuel for this little guy. It's also gonna pull all the blood supply back in there. So at this point, if I wanna speed up, if I wanna speed the whole process up, see, okay, Donnie, see this?
I see everything.
See, it's like, so it's in a little plastic sack. I mean, excuse me, a little, yeah, plastic sack, excuse me. It would be dead. Okay, so see right here? So we're in this thing, and I want to get it breathing. So what I'm going to do, there's no blood vessels there. I'm going to penetrate it. Now I just opened it up. See, now you can see like the little guy in there. And it's just a matter of time. You'll see a nose come over there. They'll start breathing.
I did see somebody ask the question, but Kevin's probably not going to answer because probably people ask him all the time. What's the advantage of using, an incubator instead of using the mama snake?
Okay, that's a really good question. Okay, so if I'm a mom and I'm internally incubating, what is the most important thing to that mom? she wants to protect her eggs. So every time anybody walks into a room, does anything, that puts mom on high alert. She's like, is this the day something is, predator is gonna come? So she's gonna protect it. So she is gonna literally be stressed out. So the entire time, and it takes longer. For artificial incubation is shorter than maternal incubation because we can manage the temperature, bring them up at a little bit higher temperature, all that stuff. So she's gonna sit there and commit herself to that. Some snakes will feed. You actually can get them to eat and they'll drink water and all that. But they're gonna sit there and wrap tightly on their eggs depending on the temperature and the humidity and whatnot. But it's gonna add more stress to that animal. So I think one of the most humane things is actually taking the eggs away, even though you might feel like, oh, whatever. You take the eggs away and then you wash it down with a very dilute solution of water and a little bit of dishwashing detergent. What you're doing is you're getting rid of the smell of the eggs because that's the mother's bond to those eggs. And quite quickly, after you've cleaned that off and you've cleaned the snake's cage, she can go back into her cage and you can go back and resume feeding. And then at least I've calculated out, it's usually 13 to 16 meals before the next round of breeding. Before they get back to I even went that far, yeah. As breeding conditions, depending on the size of the food item and stuff. But I was targeting, at least a dozen meals before I could even think, okay, we're gonna, get back to that, the breeding. And this looks quite boring.
That's what I was like. I think he's gonna say boring.
I just want to let you guys know I was just cleaning rodents. I'm in the rodent room being filthy. This one is just pretty blasé. So
Blasé? Did you say blasé?
Damn.
no, guys, let's just. It is great making life, but I came out of the rodent room to see this. It would be kind of exciting to go, hey, look. I gotta do. Why don't you do this for me, like my little scenes say?
Kevin, if you'd stop going out on the fucking stairs and cut with me, we could have all of it on tape. But you get too excited.
Rob keeps going to me. Did you just cut another clutch?
You get too excited. You're like a kid on Christmas.
I am very excited.
I gotta turn my camera on, dude.
You didn't turn your camera on.